All right. We are back. We are back for the second segment. Okay, so as I was saying earlier, I don't remember if I said that or not, but I think I did. But I just have to remind you all, Mind the Artist is not just for singers. It is not just for performers. It's not just for songwriters. It is also for you, the poet. It is also for you, the writer, the book. If you're writing a book, if you're painting, if you are someone who draws, if you cook, because cooking is a form of art as well, because you have to put different ingredients in there to give you the taste that you need, right? Um, so you're a pianist, obviously you're an artist. You play cello, you play the violin, you're an artist. So we're looking into you're an actor, you're an artist. You're a comedian, you're an artist. Look at that. It's artistry comes in a lot of forms. So if you are an artist in Chicago and you feel like this is something that addresses I wouldn't say addresses your need, but if you feel like this is something that you want to be part of, you're welcome. Just holler. Just, hey, Jean Ricard, I want to be part of this, man. Let's link up. Also, if you see me, send you a link. If I send you a link directly, because I don't send link to random people. I have to have had a relationship with you before, whether short or long. Or if we met before, most likely I will. If we met and then we've exchanged ideas, we've talked about our music, I most likely will send you a direct link. And me sending you the direct link is not to uh, it's not that you have to say yes. Hey, I want to be part of this. No, you don't have to say yes. You have your will to say no. I don't want to be part of this. But what I also want to make sure that I want to make sure. Excuse me. When you get that link, I want you to. I would appreciate it if you acknowledge that you got that link. Okay. And if you uh just because I send you the link doesn't mean you have to accept the invite. You don't have to. Again, I one thing I want to make clear. I'm not. I just want to make it clear that I'm not doing this for myself. I'm not doing this to actually look for grow. How could I say that? To grow my channel or make money or grow my Instagram. Being it. Coming in as like an opportunist. That's not what I'm trying to do. My goal has always been and will always be till the day I die, bringing folks together, especially fellow artists. That's that's not gonna die. you know, that's always, so long as I'm doing this, I'm singing, performing, writing, that's going to be my goal. It doesn't matter whether I could be as big as I could today. I would still want to do the same thing, connecting independent artists with each other, um, help each other understand where we're coming from. I mean, for myself, like writing is not. It's not the easiest thing, It is not the easiest thing because I have to think in French a lot of times when I'm writing. I have to, I have to think in Creole, because if it doesn't make sense to me in Creole, most likely it's not gonna make a lot of sense to me in English. You understand what I'm saying to you? Um, so yeah, so uh, when I write my song, is just obviously the kind of artist that I am. I am more of a I wouldn't say that I don't write love songs. Matter of fact, I'm working on a second my album right now. It's gonna be a lot of love songs in that album, but um, the point I was going to make is that I'm not so I'm more of a uh, my writing is more about social justice. It's what's happening around in the world. It's more about spirituality. It's more about your consciousness. That's what my writing is I want to say that's what my writing covers most. Uh that's the kind of artist that I am. I see the environment, I see the culture, I see the the youth. I see when you listen to my music, what do you learn from it? What do you get from it? Is there any substance is there anything that I want you to feel about listening to my music? So that's where I'm at. Where, because it's not that I can't write, music that are entertaining. Because that's one thing I said in my bio. I am my own man. I am no one's expectation. I am not your expectation. I am who I am. So saying that, to me, it means that I'm always going to stay true to myself. I'm not going to write a song just because that's what's going on in the world. That's what everyone is talking about. That's what, radio, that's what's playing on the radio. That's what's trending. I'm not going to do that. I'm never, I, since I have knowledge of remembering things, I have never followed the crowd. Never. Not in my life. I've never followed the crowd. I always, even as someone who's even in church, I was a child, I always wanted to do my own thing. I always had, as a child, I always had my own style. My cousin, brothers and sisters, I was all different than everyone else. So that's something that I have been the way that I am forever, and I'm gonna die that way, and so this is the way I write my music. You know what I mean? I choose a certain way to write my music, although it is hard because it's a hard lane to go to. One of the reasons it's so hard, number one, it's not trendy. Anything that is not trendy, that no one can go dance to on TikTok and then or whatever challenge or whatever and all this stuff, it's not trendy. So that's one. Two, I am of the older generation. Having to be old, part of the older generation. Once you hit that, you pass that 30. It's more, society has this thing, this threshold where you should stop following your dreams. You know what I mean? Which I call BS. Okay. I don't want to say the full. I was gonna say the full word, but there might be some kids listening to this. Yeah. So, yeah. So society put this thing on you where they put you in this box where you have to accept this box. That's where I said, like, one of my songs, I said my life, title my life, and if you go listen to my life, you will, this is my life, you will listen to who I am in the whole song. Society put you in this box and expect you to expect everything like it's all that. For me, I see it differently. I will be an artist till the day I die. I will be 50, I will be an artist. I will be 60, I will be an artist. I will be 70, I will be an artist. I will be 80, I will be an artist. I will be 100, I will still be following that dream. You will not stop me from following that dream. Nobody, not your comment, not what you think, or not. Like, I remember I was 29 years old when someone told me, bro, like, you chasing a dream that's dying, man. Like at this age, they want you to be 18, they want you to be 19, they want you to be 20, they want you to be 17, they want you to be 16, to get in there, like, and stuff like that. And I get it. Um, that's how society programmed them to think. Um, but for me, I there used to be a time where I let stuff like that guide me, but I want to say the last 4 years, man, I've now that I'm getting older and older, like really old. I don't care about that stuff anymore, man. I don't care about that stuff. You're not going to stop me. No one is going to stop me from uh, telling the world my story. There is something I read somewhere. If you don't tell your story, the devil will tell it for you, and the devil will make sure that it sounds like the truth. If you don't say, if you don't tell it yourself, So I see these people trying to block my way to my dream, as the devil. Telling me when I should stop singing, when I should stop performing. Like I said, I used to let that get into me, but nowadays, not anymore, man, not anymore. I'm gonna write until the day I die. I'm gonna sing until the day I die, until I can't breathe anymore. Um, so that's where I'm at. I want to say, and a lot of people, they're looking at success like, there's a lot of people see you in the street, they know, hey, that's so and so. They look at him, that's so and so. Um, uh, People are screaming your name. You signing autograph. You winning over here. You winning Grammys and all this stuff. For me, bro, for me, uh, to be successful is to be where I'm at right now. That's success for me. Is where I am right now in my mindset. The way I see things, the way I used to think things, and the way I see them now. Um, uh, I I also see myself as a successful artist because I've done, especially the last 4 years, I've done everything that I set out to do. My goal the last 4 years was to actually uh, start having some shows in Chicago. I've had some shows before, previously in Chicago. Um, I've had shows overseas, international. I've had shows, but you wanna go local first. You wanna be, because for me, there's this thing about community that always matters to me most. And I had to back up a little bit and say, you know what, man, I wanna you know, get myself involved into more things in Chicago. Do more. You're not just a performer, but also a doer. You know, not just singing, but also doing things in the community with people. And I met this guy, Spence, man, Spence Warren. Spence Warren taught me so much. I met Spence right at the cusp of COVID. I saw him, went to the park. I was driving, and I wanted to find someone. I think I was going to practice. I was going to band practice, and then as I'm driving, I saw this guy sitting in the park, in the middle of the park by himself, his guitar, and then just like he's playing guitar. And I'm like, man, who is this dude? And me being the person that I am, I've never, I'm super tired. I need to go to sleep in a minute. I got to end this in a minute because my eyes, I can barely open them. Um, I was like, man, who is this guy playing the piano, playing his guitar in the middle of the park there. And I went to him and started talking to him. I'm like, bro, how you doing, man? You know, this and that, this and that, this and that. I introduced myself, and he and I, we started talking. And like I said, I was at the cusp of COVID. That was 2018, 2019, like, yeah, at the cusp of COVID, yeah, 2019, like right at like 2018, 19. And because COVID came December, what, like February 19? Yeah. So, and since then we've connected, you know. And Spence, I sent Spence one of my song, Waiting, the title. I've been waiting for so long. And Spence listened to it, and then and from there we clicked, man. We started practicing, and then we, next thing you know, we start going to some open mics, and next thing you know, we're having shows here and there. We could have had, I want to say, the last year or so, we could have had maybe 12 to 15 shows. I want to say, let's say 12 to 15 shows, because I was offered quite a few shows. But unfortunately, when you're not a full-time musician, you have to work. You know, you have to get, you know, because you need that W-2 at the end of the year. So some days weren't working for Spence. Some days weren't working for me. So that's why we didn't have more shows, you know, especially in the year of 2023 and 2024. So basically, yes, but we did, you know, we did have quite a few shows, and I've done, like I said, I've done the shows that I intended to do. You know, I wanted to play at certain place. I played at those places. You know, so that's success for me. That's my success. You know, when a fan sent me, I have a fan that I met in a car, in Uber. I met her, and she, you know, I was telling her about my music and all this stuff. You know, I obviously, as independent artists, you talk about your music. I'm not one of those who actually let people know, because like I work at a place for 8 years. They never knew that I could sing. They never knew that I could sing. So I never really like to tell people, you know, that I sing, that I do this, I do that. Part of it's because I'm like, I really care about that gift, and I don't want anyone to put any stain on it. I was like protecting it. Does that make sense? If that makes sense, you know. Um, uh, so yeah, so that's basically the point where I was driving at. I was driving to. So I met that, you know, I met her. I met that fan, and we became, not only she became my fan, she also became a friend. And after she listened, I didn't expect her to go listen to the song really. And after she listened to the song, she sent me such a long message. You know, I posted it a few times. I posted it online. Um, uh, and obviously we try, you know, I took her name out and stuff. It's just, that's my success. When a fan, you know, write me a letter telling me, you know, how my song makes them feel, how the message they receive from my song, they've never heard it anywhere else. You understand what I'm saying to you? And me, as someone who believe in God, this is not something I can hide. You know, everyone who knows me know that. You know, someone who believes in God, someone who profess the love of Jesus Christ. I that doesn't mean that I'm better than any of you. That's not what I'm saying. I am at the same. In fact, I might be the worst of all Christian. Okay, I'm following Jesus Christ because I am not a good person. I'm trying to be a better person. That's all. I'm no better than you who is listening or watching. So let's make this clear. Um, uh, uh, so the point, yeah. So to get back to the point, that's my success with her listening to the song and get a message from it and feel like the song is speaking to us, to her soul. That's my success. That is success for me. That is success for me. There's nothing else beats that. And I've had many testimonies. I've had folks telling me, man, I've been listening to spiritual songs, but I've never heard such great spiritual songs. And that alone in itself makes me feel good, man. So that's my success. So you can look at it however you want. That I'm not known, I'm not this, I'm not that, but I'm fully known. you know so yeah, man. So that's kind of that's my success. And also, like, one, you have a lot of artists, um like my brother Jay Flex was saying the other day, that they don't want to work together. They don't want to they see the talent. They see this dude has talent, and they have talent too, but they feel like so insecure with their own talent, with their own talent within themselves, to actually say, hey, this dude want to hook up. Let me hook up with him, and let's make a heat. You know what I'm saying to you? Because he's so scared that you might get all the credit. you know? For me, I don't see it that way, man. I see that there is actually food for everyone. Music, the good thing about music is that it is subjective. People could listen to your stuff and don't like it. That doesn't mean they don't like you. That doesn't mean you're gonna find some haters. Like, you can't help that. You know what I'm saying? You're doing anything at all, and people hate you for anything. They'll hate me for this. They'll hate you for this. They'll hate you for the microphone. Why do you hold the microphone that way? Why do you not put it over there? People would just talk about anything, man. Don't worry about that stuff, You just do what you do as an artist. My advice to, because I need to go to sleep, man. I need to go. My advice to my fellow artists is that when you enter the room, don't enter the room like you know everything, because we all could learn from one another. Don't act like you're better than that artist or this artist or that artist. I met throughout my journey in Chicago, I met tons of those type of artists. A lot of guys, when I say guys, men and women, a lot of them, who's they act like they know, not only they know the industry better, they know the industry more, but let's face it, we all are trying to make it. You're an independent artist. I am an independent artist. You may have more followers on Instagram, but that doesn't define, your greatness versus mine. Or vice versa. You could have like 300 followers. I could have like 5,000. That doesn't make me a better artist than you are. You know what I mean? So that's the other thing. And I've met so many of those type of artists in Chicago, especially in Chicago. If I tell you stories, yeah. So I have some stories to tell you guys. I will save them for later. I will save them for later, man. I got I met some really how could I say that, man? I wouldn't say those artists they're bad people. but I think they do a lot of things with ill intent. You know what I mean? They're not genuine doing it. You know what I mean? Like even meeting you or saying hello or having to follow you, even to follow you on Instagram. They're not even genuine like with that. That's just an example, but like I have stories to tell you guys. But yeah, so then for me, like I would work with any type of artist, man. I would work with any type of artist so long as you don't act like you better than me, because I'm coming into this. I don't know everything, I don't know everything. I'm learning this. I'm learning a lot of things in this. How you one thing that I know a lot in is just copywriting, dealing with LOC, um, Library of Congress. That's one thing I want to say. I could say that one. I'm always kind of like trying to be humble, but this one I'm a master at it. So I think I can say that. Also, dealing with BMI and ASCAP and stuff like that. So yeah, I know these things, but there's something that you as an artist that like as far as like recording is, I don't know it. There's a way that you have to set the mic up. There's a way you have to, you know what I mean? So a lot of things that you may know that I don't know. So this is where the working together as a community, works for you and me. Because you may not know how to work with, let's say you work on a song and you don't know how you want to make sure that song, no one steals that song. A lot of people talk about, oh, you can do this, you can do that, blah blah blah. But the fact remain that the best way to copyright your song is through LOC. That's the fact. There's a lot of other ways, but the fact remains that one song, wherever that song is played, you register that song with BMI or ASCAP. As a matter of fact, no one's gonna play your song if it's not registered through BMI or ASCAP. No radio, nowhere is gonna play it. I mean, we could play it anywhere on Spotify, blah blah, and all this stuff, but you're losing money. You know what I mean? But the point that I'm trying to make is that, uh, um, for instance, us independent artists working together, we help each other. There could be something that you don't know that I know. There could be something that you know that I don't know, and that's the way it works. I've seen so far, most of the independent artists that I've dealt with, they all feel the same way that I feel. They don't feel like more important than I am as a fellow independent artist. I met a few, who feel like they're more important. Uh, you know, those are like those are people that are they're not true artists. If you if you in the involving in independent music and then being an independent artist, and you're thinking that you are above other independent artists, you are not yet an artist, my friend. You're not. You're just a performer. Well, I'm not gonna work with this guy. I got 5,000 followers. He's got 1,000, or he's got five. He's got 500. You're not an artist yet. That's just me, and that's my take. That is my take in that little space right here. So you can agree, you can disagree. That's the beautiful thing with this country, man. So um but yeah, man. So that's what we hear, man. If and understand also, if I send you a direct link, it's because that I feel like you and I we can work together. I've already said that it doesn't have to be reciprocated. You don't have to have the same feeling, because when I do things, I don't do it, to get something back. You know what I'm saying to you? I do it because that's just the way I feel. That's just who I am. So I don't expect anyone to be like that. I'm a pretty rare breed. So let me. But yeah, man. So I appreciate y'all watching. I appreciate y'all listening, man. I'm excited about the podcast. I've had a few guys, a few artists reach out to me. Um, I have painters, I have writers, poet, songwriters, pianists. Uh, so yeah, man, I'm looking for all of you artists who want to work together for the for the betterment of the community. Holla at your boy. Okay. Um, uh, I think that's it, man. I think that's it. The podcast, if you wanna be featured, once again, the name of the podcast is Mind the Artist. If you wanna be featured, just hit me up on Instagram. That's the best way. And let's schedule you for a day to stop by, and I can shoot with you any day. It's really not up to me. It's really like, what is your schedule? Then you give me a schedule, give me a date, and then I set you up. That's it. Really simple. It's really not that hard. I've had a few questions. When's that going to be done? What's the setting? What's this? What's that? It's really simple. It's just like artists talking about their music, artists talking about the way they write, artists talking about the way their journey, how long they've been doing this, why they're doing this, how they started. You know what I mean? That's all it is. Really simple. Um, if you want to come through, come through. If it's not for you, don't feel that you have to be part of it, because it's not gonna be good. Because the energy has to be shared. You feel me? Energy, my friend. Energy. So yeah, man. So I appreciate y'all for listening. I appreciate y'all for watching. If you haven't yet, if you're interested, go check it out on YouTube. Once again, this is Mind the Artist with your man Jean Ricard. Y'all. Peace.